Hello and welcome. It is the completion of the 21st day of March 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades, and of the like. That's within each's own risk and their own reward. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. Bitcoin in at that of 6,289 US fiat currency notes. And it got into the 18 average, or the rally, at least from the low 5,300 point on the date of March the 19th. So that's 3 continuation days where prices stayed within the 18 average from what has been a declining move, and really just a one-day move, well, really one-day spanning on this one here, breaking down from this 7,900 point to 3,000. Even 3,800 in other exchanges as well. So 3,800, we'll say. Very large decline. A little more than 50% in one day. And after a few days of going sideways, 6 of them, one day going up into the 2, it's just been hanging in there. And that thus neutralizing the situation. And until it can have a clear break now below the lows or above the highs, well, that's going to remain in that neutral situation. So 67 high change is barely getting above the 18 average of high. So the previous high, it's got to get over at least now, 7,000 and change. This low comes in at 5,700, which is where the area of the 18 lows is. It's a decent ways either way. It's in the middle part of this range. It's in the middle part of the 18 for the most part. So it's really near the 18 average of closes, more than the highs and lows. Well, it's in that little just correctionary move. So until it's in that, okay, nice little small rally to get things going and some time to digest the situation. And that's going to also, as it's digesting the situation, really strongly develop the range that it is playing in. We can see here in the 3-hour chart that since it came down to this on the March 20 period, it has spent every single period, primarily its entire time, in a complete flat 18 average. So it's really just waiting for direction more than anything else. On the monthly chart, sideways consolidation. We had this high, and this one was pretty good, but noticeably lower. We've had this low, and, well, this one, I'll definitely say noticeably lower because it rebounded really quickly. We'll see if it retests it. But until it breaks the sideways range, it's going to be in this sideways range. I think that's one easy way of putting it. And regardless of the fact, if it's on this low end, yeah, it might hold, it might not. But if it doesn't, previous resistance comes in at 1,000. And if we see strength coming out above here, well, it's going to show strength on the high area, like 12, 13, 14,000, and getting up above like 22, 23. Well, that puts you in uncharted territory. And, well, the last time we were in uncharted territory was right in here in May of 2017. And oops, how do you do? And before that, it was uncharted territory here, also here. And that just means you break all-time highs. Before, all-time highs was like 225, did this move. And did its move up to like 1,100 change or something like that. And then it broke it here, like in April, May of 2017. Oh, okay, so we're barely over 1,000, and then all the way to 20. Okay, how do you do? So that's just the basics of it. We'll see how things move on, and how much time it takes for those big plays to actually happen. Just a few other markets before I lead into my segue as far as current living conditions. I'll just entitle it as. And well, anyway, the dollar, that's just another commodity. What's another asset class like Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is outside month, as it's doing an excitation of the 18 average with a fourth battle of previous resistance on the range of 100.4 up to 103.58. And it's exiting, so probably going to test into this little area as we finish off March going to April. Don't be surprised if in the next 5 weeks or so, 107 area, at least on a conservative level, gets tested. And the gold to silver ratio. Really that of gold and silver. So these asset classes, I'm going to go through a lot of volatility here pretty soon. We're already in the volatility phase. I'm going to have to go with what I've always been saying. I feel as if it's almost, I wish I could say, oh, it's just guaranteed for gold and silver. I wish I could say it, but it's the closest thing I could, or the asset that is. It's the closest I can for it to be guaranteed to at least still hold or have a level of value come the next decade or 2029, 2030 area. Whereas fiat currency might have absolutely practically none when we look at these paper rectangles in 2030. Cryptocurrencies could be the same way. And there really isn't anything else for the most part that you can even really hold. And at least if there is, at a good volume, of course, I'd really like to know, because things like artwork and whatnot can't go there. Video games, not going to play anything low volume. So let's just go back to cryptos. This is going to be Bitcoin dominance next. And I'm hearing vocabulary around the streets or in the media, and I guess in the streets for sure, of these words called things like social distancing, stuff like that. I don't know about you. For me, it feels like I'm living in the Twilight Zone, some sort of wacky Stephen King-ish kind of novel. Really don't know what much it is to say. It's almost as if we're in a world where, like, hey, by the way, everyone's an inmate now. Only problem is we don't have enough facility space. Can you place yourself at your own place, little what do we call you, inmates? Yeah. So we can go through words like, oh, if you go in town for your commissary purchases, remember to stay within 6 feet of people. Hey, go to the hole if you're 5.5 feet or 4.2 feet away, which we'll say in this case would be normal prison. Just different words of use. So your contraband, just leave it at your house. I think you don't want to bring that into general population. And these are unfortunate. Just if you would have told me, like at a Super Bowl party, just how many weeks ago were we talking about that now? 6 weeks ago? Oh yeah, and 6 weeks from now, March 21st, start of spring, the world's going to look like this. I would have laughed at you. But it is as it is right now. This is Bitcoin dominance. And breaking out from the 18 average. After having resistance here, here, and here. The resistance that it encountered on the way down in February 16th, 17 most certainly was supported very well. So to me, after seeing the last few days, the last few periods in here, this is a move for point A low that you got to take serious for point B to be probably going to be higher than this high. And thus most likely a significant higher level after that. So conservatively, I think it should at least battle into this area where it came from, 68, into the 68s, I would think. And that's just a conservative pick. We'll see what happens. Now let's go into altcoins, H-bar. I stated a few days ago on here, you know what I probably should do is sell all my H-bar, 100% of them, and put a buy order in at the key fib mark. And well, obviously we can see today, well, it hit. And at a conservative level, you'd be buying a hair above it, like 586 or something, 589. And obviously it hit, just piercing just a little bit, basically 1 Satoshi below. Since then, it hasn't been much of a time. It hasn't really done much sense. It's just consolidated. 18 average on the hourly time frame is mainly just that of flat. On the 3-day chart, hey, nice little pattern so far of higher lows. One higher high here. This was a matching high, but matching high, higher low, higher high for both of them. We'll see if it's a higher low here. If it is, you start to see excitation in this level. Oh, 680. Well, long term, that tells you this thing might have some probability now of a test number 3 getting past this level and maybe even working towards the 4-figure mark in the Satoshi number. Moving on to Tezos, and I mentioned on the upside target based on key high, key A low, or point A low in October here near 900. Key B high or point B high at around 2,500 from second week of December. Key or level C low. And then, okay, so the high should be near 4,000, and that's exactly where it has been. So far, highs and lows are known after the fact, and it's after the fact, so this high is 4,073. And lows after the fact, well, right now, this low comes in at 24.45. It had a retest here at 24.46, so 1 Satoshi higher. So still, that's a low, but we don't know yet if that's going to be, if this thing comes, if you start to see this, especially now, after just this this little outside day on March 20th, have this little hanging in there with the 18. If it starts to fade lower, 2,600 and break below it, I'd be thinking that this thing should most certainly have a good chance of probably hitting 22.42. So again, the smart play, which I'm not going to do. Oh yeah, let's just sell like all my Teslas and put a buy order in for like 22.51 or something and see what happens. And it probably wins like almost every time, but I just can't do it. Of course, for myself, I'll keep ratio flip trading all the coins that I will with such, but it does look to me as if we're going to see some more weakness in here that we've seen over the last few days, and a test of a pierce below 22.42, because they usually pierce extra with these fib numbers. And then another reason for piercing extra, because this was support. So I talked about like the three little bears thing as far as a move. They're usually not small. That's a key one. If it's going to have at least it's small, like this here, you know what, 2,300 is kind of a small move as far as the next key leg. Maybe it is. And I suppose it's an okay move right at that level, but makes sense that like 2140, 2150, 2130 or whatever would be the level. If, of course, we break below it. And I think we will. But if you want to get better confirmation, better probability, you're looking for, of course, it's starting to break down below this level. Now let's move this on to Grosscoin, and I look at this. I see the smaller candles on the bottom, then they get huge and they get small, and I think they were bigger, but I need a better log scale, and I don't get it on here. There we go. And now things look a lot different when I do it this way. Much different. However, I'm looking at the long-term monthly chart. Starts off just doing the sideways stuff, a little bit up, a little bit down, and then the big rally from the 2017 lows, January, and goes from 120, 130 Satoshi all the way up to multiple hit at like around 19,000, now at 2,500. So that's exitation here. We got above, the last time we got above the 18 average highs on the monthly long-term March of 2019, and then several red months in a row, 5 of them. And it's just been going sideways ever since for the last like 6 or so. 18 average of lows starting to catch up with it. It's either got to break this resistance and most likely have significant moves, maybe a lay mass moves 4,500 to 5,500, and maybe they can do better. And then breaking support, we can have previous support here at around 603/4, 675. But we take a look at this on, say, some other time frames, say the weekly chart. It's been in a long sideways consolidation pattern. It's basically what it's been. And you can do whatever trades you want within it, but it has had a lot of this support. It's left that a couple periods ago from this point. And resistance, which is where we're attending or at the area of, we had some up here. We haven't seen it since this point. Maybe we will here. Lately, we've had resistance at this point. So we're in that range right now of the upper tier part of resistance. However, what I do like about it is that if this month can close pretty much looking like this, at least on the low end, we can see what makes this period different from the rest is that it's breaking higher. And the only other period where price action is lows are above the real lows, like here. And of course, this one is, to me, it's got a nice little setup towards it. Look, when we look at this on the daily chart, this is, to me, I think, just another interesting setup. We'll see if this actually goes off in the next few days or not. But, well, from this low in here, we've had this little rally come up to this point, and you can say wickedly violent, and maybe for some people not so fun, and for some other ones really fun because of the volatility action that comes with it. But the price action does have multiple hits of this level. Looks like it's going to break down pretty big here, but doesn't. Retest of this high. So when we break above this, you're like, oh, it's starting to go above. What's the next key level? Where did it come from? Oh, yeah, this little area here. And that's exactly where it went to. So now you want to have this must-hold area in here. And it did go below it, but it did hold and stay within that area. 61.8% from whatever the key low and high is. The higher low, 18 average of lows on the time frames like this. And it's been showing a lot of strength recently here within this. So I think that this potentially has what it takes to get going. But even we can see just intraday over the last couple of periods how the price action got above the 18 average of highs, pulled back, and within this session here, pretty much. Now this is Bittrex. Let me just get the Binance chart. Not much of a difference, I don't think. And there we have it. But I like how this is showing its movement within the highs, and we'll just see how it goes. So thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.